go ahead and get into this Bengals game. Talk about these Bengals, talk about these Ravens. And I'll just be honest, straight up, if you are a Ravens fan, turn your ears off. I have nothing to say about Baltimore because we've already said enough. We know what they are. We know who Lamar Jackson is. What is shocking, okay, I'll lie, I do have something to say about Baltimore. What is shocking, though, is the fact that you have this Ravens defense absolutely being consistent. When would we ever say a Baltimore Harbaugh defense was inconsistent? Listen to the past point totals for the Ravens here. So 41, 6, 25, 7, 17, 33. Excuse me, let's go backwards from week 1 to now. 33, 36, 17, 7, 25, 6, and 41. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all when you have Marlon Humphrey getting diced up by a rookie, and that's no slight on anybody. Ja'Marr Chase is the top 5 receiver right now in the NFL. I said what I said. Call the show if you want to talk about it. But with this defense literally giving up play after play, like they need to make a move with the line. And we're going to talk about that later also. But the Ravens need to make a move at the deadline because when would we have ever thought this secondary would be this porous? But again, the Ravens have been shaky this season, whether they're tiptoeing around the Lions or they're tiptoeing around the Colts for no reason, blowing out contenders just to get blown out by fringe contenders. And again, no slight on Cincinnati. You'll hear me say it in a little bit. Who is Zach Taylor? Who is the coaching really? I love the 5-2 record. They've got it all going in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow. Imagine if they had Mixon actually performing. Ja'Marr Chase, of course. Boyd, Uzomah, or Uzomah, however you say. You know who I'm talking about out there. But just the way the Bengals have really been able to rally. And yes, they are fringe contenders at this moment because of coaching. But I got to stick with it, man. The Ravens have been shaky this season. And I like the Ravens. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. I'm not trying to say that, they're going to be this team that falls flat on their face. Words. But I gotta give my credit to the Cincinnati Bengals. And, this is an odd outing for Baltimore. So the running backs had no part in this game at all. The first half, Lamar has 8 carries for 63 yards. The running backs, rather everybody else on the team, 7 carries for no yards. So again, And now Lamar Jackson is throwing the football. Lamar can't throw is dead. Okay, we're going to get into that later as well. Lamar can't throw is absolutely dead. You have him leading the league in average depth per target. He's throwing the ball down the field 10, 15 yards every time. They're trying to live and die by the big play. But when you talk about how they weren't able to get any sort of balance in a run game going, this is a team that has always been with the run game. And damn, the Astros just scored. It is 1-0. I know we're past baseball, but I got to keep the city updated as if y'all aren't already watching, but it is 1-0 Astros. But now here, I do have to give the Bengals some credit. So that defense is real. There's no question about that defense. I mean, they were blanketing receivers all game, sacking Lamar for the most times in his career, not letting him get any sort of easy throw off. And when you see a Bengals team that is absolutely shocking everybody right now in the NFL, I mean, there's no question about that. What this Bengals team is finally doing with all the talent they've acquired, everybody's happy about it. I'm happy for the Bengals. I want to see them do a lot. I'm loving Joe Burrow. I'm loving Ja'Marr Chase. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about them. But when you talk about them actually building a true elite second level to deal with run games like the Colts can have at times, or the Titans are going to have at times, or the Ravens or the Browns, or even when, shout out to the Saints getting Mark Ingram back, we're going to have boom and zoom again. I'll stay off that though. I know I got to behave tonight. It's okay. But when you talk about them actually building an elite second level with Cincinnati, you can't say anything bad about it. You can't. They're putting the guys out there. They're hitting on draft picks. They're doing what they got to do. And let's talk about Joe Burrow being protected. Everybody kind of wanted to get on me for when I said, they should have taken this O-lineman higher. Well, check it out. Either way, they got some help for the O-line. Here's a crazy stat for all you Burrow Bengal lovers out there. When Joe Burrow is sacked more than 3 times, Cincinnati is 1-7-1. And I'll make it real simple for you. They've won 1 game. They've tied 1 game. And they've lost 7 games when Joe Burrow is sacked only 3 times, not even once a quarter. If Joe Burrow was sacked 3 times in a game, they are 1-7-1. And he had the best game of his career, tying for the most touchdowns in the game, absolutely comfortable, the most air yards he's ever had in an attempt. Joe Burrow threw for over 400 yards on that Ravens defense. 200 of those yards came from Ja'Marr Chase on that Ravens defense. But again, is it still that Ravens defense? They're giving up points wildly consistently. I don't know what's going on with Marlon Humphrey. I mean, when you're talking about a rookie taking advantage of a top 5, 7, 10 corner, whatever you want to say, in this league, You got to give credit to the Bengals. You got to give credit to what they're doing. And now the final question is, who is Zach Taylor? Because he was on my hot seat coming in. You got Joe Burrow. You got Ja'Marr Chase, Tyler Boyd. A good offensive line now. Kind of. Joe Burrow is actually setting records behind a bad offensive line for rookies. So the question is, who is Zach Taylor? It's a 5-2 record. We see the defense. And of course, the offense is putting up points. The defense actually should get more credit than it really does. But I guess we won't go there too much. I'll just let the numbers speak for themselves when Cincinnati's down the road. So I'll leave you with that question. Who is Zach Taylor? He will decide the fate of this team, not the talent, not the players, not the attitude, not the chemistry. The head coach of that team is going to decide how far they will go. Who are they in the big moment? Who is Stafford in the big moment? Who is Cliff Kingsbury in the big moment? That's my question. That's my reservation with the Bengals. Love what they're doing. 5-2. They're inching towards that taking them seriously contender status, but we'll have to wait and see.